I heard that the building was invaded by aliens. No, it was definitely a zombie resurrection gone wrong.
Do you kids really want to know what happened? I was a worker on the Chernobyl nuclear power plant.
Yes, we do.
It was just another day working on the Chernobyl nuclear plant. On April 26th, the scientists and I were getting ready to conduct several tests on a reactor to evaluate its capacity for producing power. The scientists took a few measures that caused the reactor to melt down since it was operating too quickly, and all we heard next was boom. Numerous factors, including design defects and mistakes committed by the scientists, had caused the explosion. And because of that and the large amount of radioactive waste that was released in the area, we are seeking shelter here.
Whoa, this seems super dangerous. Why are we even working at that place?
Well, you see, I've always been fascinated and passionate about nuclear energy. When I was a young boy, I saw on the telly Enrico Fermi, who was a physicist carrying out an experiment to demonstrate the ability of neutrons to split a multitude of atoms in the mid-1930s. The conversion of the lost mass into energy took place through a process known as fission. In a conference in the US, scientists alongside Fermi proposed a theory with the prospect that a self-sustaining chain reaction may emerge. The University of Chicago began working on constructing the first nuclear reactor later in 1942. On December 2nd, the scientists began their demonstration of the Chicago Pile 1. Within a few hours of extracting rods from the reactor, the nuclear reaction was rendered self-sustaining, and the scientists' visions and theories had become a reality. Fission is the process responsible for producing nuclear energy. This occurs when a neutron crashes into a heavier and larger atom in an unstable condition, enabling it to split into two smaller and lighter atoms. The splitting of the atom is what releases energy, and the subsequent repeated reaction is brought on by the release of additional neutrons. A common illustration of the nuclear fission process and is used in power reactors is uranium-235. It is struck by neutrons producing lighter atoms like krypton and barium, as well as neutrons that initiate the chain reaction. An equation that represents the energy that is being released when the process of fission occurs is E equals change in mc squared, where change in m or delta m is the difference in mass after fission. The change occurs due to the original atom splitting into lighter atoms, and c squared is the speed of light squared. Through the discovery of this new source of energy, scientists were able to lessen the effect of electricity on global warming, an issue primarily caused by greenhouse gas emissions, and makes up for one of the most significant issues that our planet continues to encounter. As power is generated by burning fossil fuels, carbon dioxide is released into the atmosphere, trapping heat radiation from the sun. However, nuclear energy does not generate carbon emissions when used as a source of electricity, which is one of its main applications. This is because fission does not generate any greenhouse gases, and as a result, the operation of a nuclear reactor doesn't lead to the production of any carbon gases. This demonstrates that a concern harming our planet has been avoided, to some degree, through using nuclear energy to generate electricity. An example of this is that in the United States, over 471 million metric tons of carbon is avoided due to using nuclear energy. Nuclear energy offers an alternative solution to the issue of massive expenditures needed to maintain electrical sources. This means that although nuclear energy requires heavy funding to build it, it is cost effective. All of the money may be put to good use over an extended period of time. Further, once the power plant is built, the costs of operating are minimal. This demonstrates that even though a large amount of investment will be required, the power plant will operate efficiently and without extensive maintenance for 2 to 4 decades. While today's catastrophe was disastrous, nuclear energy is likely one of the most powerful forms of energy to emerge in our lifetime. The biggest advantage that comes with utilizing nuclear energy is that it is a clean power source. As I mentioned before, using nuclear power plants involves a carbon-free method of production that doesn't result in gas emissions. This is a highly advantageous aspect to this production method as there are harmful gases that impact air quality when other electricity sources are running. Some of those sources that require the burning of fossil fuels such as coal, gas, and oil, massive amounts of carbon dioxide emissions are released into the air, trapping heat in the environment and contributing to global warming. Another benefit that is relevant to the economical factor is that the nuclear energy sector contributed to job creation. This is because in order to construct a power reactor, it requires the employment of over 7,000 workers. The sector supports more than 500,000 employment in the US and contributes to an estimated $60 billion annually to the GDP. This demonstrates that nuclear energy not only results in the creation of jobs, but also to expand and strengthen the nation's economy.
That's incredible. I want to be a scientist and work with nuclear energy too.
Hold your horses there, kid. It may seem all that incredible, but there are also drawbacks to this type of energy. This includes the large amounts of radioactive waste released when a nuclear power plant is running, which is relevant to the environmental factor. There are numerous classifications for radioactive waste, however, all of which have some effect on the surrounding environment. Used reactor fuel falls under high-level waste and needs to be safely handled in order to avoid any leaks from occurring. There are also other radioactive materials such as uranium mill tailing, which require another safety procedure to be carried out. Overall, even when handled safely, radioactive waste has a massive impact on our environment, which showcases some of the drawbacks that emerge with utilizing the energy.
Ugh, I'm confused now. So which type of energy is the best?
Although what occurred today was certainly devastating and will have a long-term effect, there still remains hope that nuclear energy can be utilized in a safe and effective way. If handled properly and used for the correct reasons, nuclear energy can be beneficial and can promote many important aspects, such as ensuring that electricity production does not hugely contribute to global warming and that money that is being invested into the production method is put to good use. Also, with the continued advancement and development of reactors, it will become increasingly advantageous to utilize nuclear energy.
I get it now. So nuclear energy works through a process called fission where an atom gets split which causes an energy release in neutrons. And this energy was first discovered by Enrico Fermi and theories were made and later tested to make a reactor. Nuclear energy has its advantages, including that it has a small carbon footprint, and its disadvantages such as releasing radioactive material. You also said that what happened in your workplace is harmful, however, with improvements made in the creation of more developed reactors, as well as careful handling and application, it will be very beneficial.
Yup, I think you got it.
Well, I still wish that the building was invaded by aliens.